This is Joe Bryan from Payoff Pitch Baseball and Bank Shot Basketball. You're listening to Digital Dice Podcast.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Digital to Dice Podcast. I am Dave, joined by Vinny once again. Vin, welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me again. I do love it. It's great talking about our hobby, and look forward to tonight's chat.
Yeah, this is episode 283 of the Digital Dice Podcast, and tonight, this is something Vin came up with the other day. He goes, you ever have a hard time deciding what to play? And I was like, in fact, I do. And so we're going to talk about that tonight, deciding what to play. What goes through your mind or our mind when we try to figure out what game to play and why. So anyway, ways to get a hold of us, digitaltodice.com is the website. 978-751-DICE is the text line, digitaltodice@yahoo.com. And over on Facebook, facebook.com/groups/digitaltodice. Let me see, to kick things off here, why don't we go right into what we're playing? We'll slide right into that. What do you think?
Sure.
I'll let you kick things off this week.
All right. Not that interesting of what's going on my table. And still working through that solitaire pro football game.
Oh, man.
My wife wants it off the table, but it's just because I've been out and about and busy. But it's all been good, which has been hard to say, right? This year's been a little rough.
Yeah, it's been a tough year, yeah.
Yeah, but everything's been going great. So everybody's healthy. We're good. I have been doing computer stuff, believe it or not.
Really?
I'm in the middle of testing hockey for Dave. Trying to work through
Action PC hockey, right?
Yes, okay. Yes. I should say that. There are a few hockey games out there. So I'm trying to give my time to that. I had trouble getting it installed. I actually had to uninstall all the previous versions. Who knows why? Computers could be crazy. But I finally got it going, and I didn't lose anything because I got every season. And so I'm trying to prep for that. Also preparing my team. I think I told you, me and Grant are in the same league.
Oh, yeah.
Herb Brooks Association.
Yeah.
One of the best run leagues I've ever been in. The guy Eric Bowen runs it, and I don't know him personally, but he does a phenomenal job. The guys in there are great, too. It's just, they're hockey junkies like us, all lighthearted. I've never come across any one of them that are just really, some guys can be like real, I don't know how to word it, like me. And they're not. They really love it. There's a lot of action in the league, so it's good. Computer stuff. I actually opened up Stone Cold Hockey on the computer because that came up in our chat the other night, didn't it?
That's a fun one.
It is.
That's a fun one.
That's what kind of brought an itch up on me. So I was like, let me see what I got. I haven't ordered a season since, I think, the whole original package. So I only have 21, 22, but I told you we were talking offline. Now it's hockey season, and hockey is my game. So 49's going on the table, and I was actually looking for, Joe Card sent me a link for it. So, I have like my plexiglass over my field that Jerome made me for matchup, which I don't even like touch. It's like the Mona Lisa. I love it. I could just stare at it. Anyway, I want something I could just lay over that without having to take that up. So I don't know if I'm going to go with a cork board or something like that. This way I could just pile another game just on top of that. And those are the ones that I would just take off. But my brain is fit right into where we're going tonight. So I'll leave it at that.
Nice.
How about you? What are you up to?
Let's see here. I played some highlight hockey myself. Just threw a couple teams down and played, had some fun with that. I snuck in a game of APA hockey. I want to pull out the cards that I got from Chris White, the best of the 70s decades baseball. I did the unboxing for that, and that's fun. So it's basically every baseball team of the 70s with the best of. And so like the Red Sox, they had a pitcher from 72 and a third baseman from 1970. And, I think Fred Lynn was from 78 and Yaz might have been 71. I mean, I'm kind of guessing here, but you get the idea of it that he created teams, and I don't know how many cards came on a team. But it was kind of like the best of and the best year. So it was the 70s decades team. And so any team you look at, it was kind of neat. It's like, okay, I got this guy, but this is his best year. So I wanted to pull out that and play that. It's kind of, I don't usually play best ofs or things like that. But that was intriguing because it was like the entire 70s decade, and you're just plucking guys off of individual teams during that decade and creating one super team. And I thought that would be kind of fun to play.
Now, do you use a DH when you do it?
You know, it's because it's completely fictional. I haven't decided what I'm going to do, but what I thought about doing was using a DH for no matter who I play, because again, it's all fictional. And so I thought about just taking, picking the 8 fielders that I'm familiar with. So it's somebody I would like to see out there, and then picking a DH for the pitcher. And I was thinking about making every pitcher go 7 innings and then bringing in a reliever for 2. I just wanted to kind of keep it fun and loose. I didn't want to take it very serious. And just kind of, maybe even the batting order, just setting it up from 1 to 9. So having the DH lead off, then the catcher hit, and then the first baseman, just having go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I try to come up with something very generic but very fun. So I don't have to do a lot of thinking. I don't want to have to think, oh, geez, where would Fred Lynn hit in this order? And where would Rico Petrocelli hit if he was playing on this team? I really kind of don't want to kind of take it that serious where I'm doing a lot of investigating. I really kind of want to kind of keep that just loosey-goosey and have some fun with it.
I get it. I've created a couple of those. I did it years ago with Strap, but mainly with Replay Baseball. It's a little harder to do with Replay Baseball, but it's so satisfying. So I like them. I've done decades. I've done entire careers. And then Pete came out with a franchise set. They're a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Yeah. So you'll have fun with it.
Yeah,
cool.
I'm hoping to. Let me see. Oh, I also played some hockey bones. I played a game from the 81-82 season. I think I played Islanders. Was it Islanders Blackhawks I played? I forget who it was. I think it was Islanders Blackhawks. So I played that in hockey bones, and I played the exact as played for that night, because Hockey Bones gives you everybody. That's what's really great about Hockey Bones. And what I ended up doing was I played to a 6-3 Islanders win, and in real life it was a 5-3 Islanders win.
All right. Now you played that solo. You didn't stream that.
No, I just played it offline.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I do remember you saying
and
that.
I got done with it. I was like, holy cow, that was like spot on.
That's cool.
It's fun when you get that. I mean, we don't play it to play it exact, but when it comes close, at least you feel good about it.
It validates the game a little bit.
Yeah, it does. It's like, okay, yeah, that was pretty good. So I think that's about all I've been playing. Oh, I did. I don't know if you saw, Grant was on his Facebook group, and he was, I don't want to say he was defending his hockey game, but he was kind of talking about it like, here was my goal when I created the hockey game. And the idea was to make it feel like you were playing the team that you were playing. If you were playing a team from the 70s, I want it to feel like the 70s. If you're playing the modern, I want it to feel like modern. And he goes, that was my goal with the game. And all these people would chiming in on the comments saying, well, yeah, I like this and I like that, and you've done a great job. And I wrote in, he goes, when I play highlight hockey, it's like having a York peppermint patty. That's all I can think of when he wrote that. I was just like, I get the sensation of,
I don't see a reason why Grant would ever have to defend that.
Oh, I know.
That game is just so solid.
It was.
Matter of fact, I was telling Joe, my next setup, and it's going to be soon, might even be tomorrow because I'm home all day, chilling out, Quick Text, full version. I got to do it. I haven't done it yet.
I haven't played that in a while. I want to go back to it is the mechanics are very similar to the highlight game. The big difference is in the highlight hockey, it'll say, high shooter slot +5, let's say, right? In the Quick Text game, it'll be high shooter slot, or slot +1. So your chances of being in the shooter's range are a lot less.
Okay.
Because you're not trying to make up all those goals because
right.
you only
more chances throughout the game.
So you'll see the 30 shots a game or whatever it is,
Nice.
compared to the highlight, which you don't get the full shots. You just kind of you get the highlights, and so that's why you need to score more goals in the highlights because you have fewer chances. So that's the big difference, really. And the line changes you got to do kind of manually, but I still use the track. I use the track a little bit for that, so that's kind of fun. But I find the highlight game I described as fast and fun, and I describe the quick decks, which is the longer game, as it's the full play, but it's very intense. It's a very intense game because you're hanging on to every play, and you can really pepper the team in the zone, and you're not just relying on that one card and then you're done. Like in the highlight, you have the shot and maybe a rebound or two. I mean, you can. When I was in Colorado playing with Grant, we were playing like the 66 Rangers and Blackhawks, and they couldn't clear the zone. It was just like one shot after another, and they get it back and they go back in. We weren't even changing lines. It was just peppering the goalie. He's just like, holy cow, you are just nailing these guys. And it was just, and so that's the thing that can kind of happen. It's almost like APA hockey when you get rebound after rebound after rebound, and the other team just can't clear the puck.
I ordered it. It's coming Saturday. I can't wait.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I know Joe's been playing. He said he's been having some fun with it. He's taking it slow, and he's like, I'm slowly working in different parts of the game, but I wanted to get it to move there. But
he told me today he just ordered the Final Fours from 14-15.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I was like, cool. I didn't know if he was going to go that route, but
it's fair. It's not as easy as the football. But if you know hockey, it works out. And again, some of the little tricks that I've gotten from Mike Berger and a few other people for penalties and assists, that really kind of it takes away the sharp edges is what it does. And there's a few things that trip me up in the game, and so I have a different way of doing it, and it doesn't seem to wreck the game. And as we talked about that, I'm aware that if I were to play a full season this way, I couldn't complain about the results because I'm not playing exactly as the book tells me. So, I keep that in mind. But at the same time, I have yet to play any APA hockey my way that I've said, wow, this is way out of line. I just haven't. It's everything is pretty close to where it needs to be. It just, sometimes it just comes down to, assists. I'm not, you roll for assists, it's a percentage thing. So, and the same thing with the penalties. It's just
different. What Joe said he's doing? He's using Grant's assist chart.
That's another way of doing it. I think he did say that. There's nothing wrong with that because, again, it's all percentage based.
Right, because he told me you could end up rolling on the assist chart for APA. And I'm like, well, I'll find out. But I got to tell you, the go-to game right now, I know for me, is Grant's game. Now I want to find out how the quick decks version
It makes me want to pull it out now. Now that you're talking about it, it makes me want to pull it out and play a quick decks tonight. What I've been doing is kind of neat is when I was playing the highlight hockey, what I would do is as I go into the Excel spreadsheets and I'd print out a couple of teams from a game. And I would play that in highlight hockey. And I played a couple times. And then I would go and I'd play it in the full game, the quick decks. And so, I spent all this time printing out these teams and getting the rosters correct for that game. And it's like, I'm going to get my use out of it.
Sure.
And so I've played it a few times. It's kind of fun, when you compare the highlight to the full game, the quick decks, and just see how it goes.
The games were both comparable with the same teams, right?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, Grant doesn't ever have to defend. He doesn't have to defend none of his games.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, his football game is fantastic.
Yep.
And again, they both seem like I'd never be able to learn them. And they're just not that hard.
Yeah, the football game's involved, but for some reason that worked with me. I clicked with me. Like I read it and I kind of got it. I mean, I didn't master it, but I mean, it didn't trip me up. I was like, oh, I see where you're going here. It's just, there's a few things that you kind of, okay, what do I do here? If I have this and this, which order do I do them in? But aside from that, it went pretty well.
So many games there.
Yeah. And that's what we're going to talk about here is deciding what to play.
Yeah, I mean, yuck in a bad way. It's like.
Yeah, I know. Let's see here. Oh, one last thing to note. I was chatting with Clay. We had a little chat the other night, and he just released a new Football Mogul 26, I think.
I saw that.
And I was asking him, and I said, Clay, I says, can I play any game? And I know the Football Mogul is designed for you to be the mogul, that you're going to take one franchise and stick with that one franchise. That's kind of how that game is designed. But for me, who doesn't usually play that way, I like, to play like I do with Action PC and Second Season and, all these other games. I like to play. I just want to play the offense of each team, and I want to play a game of the week. Pro Strategy Football has come out, and I'm enjoying it.
I was jealous. That's such a fun looking game.
It is. It's fun, and I finally got all the mods in. It wasn't as easy as I thought it was, but somebody helped me get the mods in, and I was playing a game, and I was like, man, this is so much fun. But you can go and you can play any of the games on the schedule. So I was talking to Clay. I says, Clay, can I do that? Can I go into Football Mogul and pick a game and play it as both offenses? And he's just like, well, you can go in and play a game and change everything to human and this and that. And so he goes, let me come on and walk you through it. So I'm going to try to get Clay on here at some point, and we're going to talk Football Mogul and see what the new one looks like and see if he can walk me through a couple things that I'm looking to do and see if it's even possible to do some of these things. So
yeah, if it's something I think I would mess with even a little bit, I'll gladly support him. But it's something that's just going to not... it doesn't appeal as
it is. And again, I have the I don't know if I have 23 or 24 Football Mogul. I forget which one I have. It is the fastest playing football PC game. It really is. There's no graphics really. You click on the play that you want, and then I think the computer takes the defense, and then it gives you the result of the play. It's like a scroll up, and it says, okay, the ball's handed off to Dorsett. He runs it to the right side for 7 yards, 2nd and 3.
Okay.
And then you go in and say, okay, I want to go a short pass.
Okay.
So Staubach goes back, short pass, Drew Pearson for 5 yards, and it's now 3rd and 2 or whatever. Or
maybe that's why there's no. I looked for a 2025 video.
But you can just click and click and click and click, and you can get through that game like 15 to 20 minutes if you really want to, and just kind of fire right through it. On defense, pick your formation. It tells you what happened. So it's a very, very fast game. There's no animation, so it's not like Action PC or anything like that. But you get your results really fast. And you fire right through it. It's kind of fun. So I want to see what the new one does, and if that's possible, because I know he said in baseball you could play any game. I think he said you could do that. So I'm interested to see. And again, that's not what it's designed for. So I'm kind of asking the game to do something it wasn't supposed to do. But now, if it does it this way, then yeah, that should be kind of fun. So anyways, yeah, so that's what I've been playing and who I've been talking to. So what do you say? Why don't we get into this one? Episode 283, deciding what to play. Here we go. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you kick it off because you were the one to come up with this. So how did you come up with the topic here, deciding what to play?
Because I'm living it the past 2 weeks. It's like, I still have that Solitaire Pro Football game on the table upstairs that my wife asked, is that still the first game you started? I was like, yeah, but you don't know nothing about gaming, so don't bother me. I got my matchup still on the table. That doesn't go anywhere, though. If anything, I was just telling you I want to get a board to cover it up to put other games on top when I want to play those. So this is literally every morning. Because we're gamers. We get up.
Yep.
All right. I got to play something today. Should I finish that Solitaire Pro Football? It probably will take me about 40 minutes. Yeah. I'm like halfway through the third quarter already. It might not even take that long. Okay, it's a great game. It's 14-13, 85 Bears over the 84 Dolphins. Yeah, but it's hockey season. I want to break out a hockey game. All right, so you got all your strat hockey stuff still on the bar here in a box that the guys that have been here know. Do you have an itch to play shot? Nah, I got 49. I said I got to break out 49 highlights. No, maybe I should play the Quick Dex version. I haven't done it yet. Then I'm like, Dave's been playing Hockey Bones. Thank you very much. I do have Hockey Bones. Should I try and revisit that? Well, I got APA coming on Saturday. What am I going to do here? It's like, you start twitching.
Yeah.
And you know what happens? You don't play nothing. It's like, I got to be some kind of oddball in this hobby. I don't know why that happens. But as we were talking offline, I'm leaning towards getting some hockey going. That is my sport. The season is upon us, and I got some hopes for my Canadians. Not high hopes, but a good, successful season. So we'll see.
I usually don't get influenced by the the actual sports season when I play. Although unconsciously this year I found myself playing a lot of football at the end of the summer and now breaking out some hockey again as it's kind of hockey preseason. So maybe unconsciously I am, but I find myself like in the winter I play a lot of baseball, in the summer I play a lot of hockey.
Yeah.
So it's the season's never really affected me as far as I got to play this, but I guess they kind of do, because I found myself playing football then playing the hockey, and I suppose that I'll get on that basketball itch as basketball season slowly comes up, and I'll pull out the bank shot again or the baseline basketball or something like that, and I'll get that on the table. In fact, I pulled that out the other day. By the way, I pulled out baseline basketball, and I was setting it up. And somebody called me, and I had to go do something else, and I never got the game on the table. But I was getting ready to play baseline basketball, and I had to refresh myself. So I pulled out the instructions. I was like, okay, I got to remember how to set this up and play it. And then somebody called me, and something happened, and I had to leave, and I never got to it. But yeah, I usually don't get in the mood, so to speak, but I guess this year I have actually got in the mood for football season and hockey season, and that's finding more time on my table and not so much the baseball right now. But so when it comes down to deciding what to play, where am I here? I sent this me a note here so I wouldn't forget. Okay, here's one of the things. Do we keep our favorite games within arm's reach? Okay, now I'm in a position here where I have, everyone's seen Studio B here. That's my main game playing thing. I do have a table to the left of me, which I do kind of consider Studio A now. And I don't play games on it, but I do have games boxes on it. And I have a couple of things that I'm working on. So I have my Appa football here with my Al Wilson field. I have my payoff pitch 1976 season, which I'm still working on for the Red Sox, American League only. I have my season ticket baseball. I still have one series to play in my double elimination, so that's right here to my left. And then I have the 49 highlight hockey, or quick text hockey, if you will. So I have a handful of games right here at arm's reach that I could pull out at any time.
Right.
So I don't have, like I said, I know Joe has a couple tables. You have a couple of tables. I do, but I don't.
Tables.
I don't play on both of them. I just play on the one here. So I do have the other one here. I try to keep it neat and tidy, but I do keep my games here because I don't want to play a game then go all the way across the room and put it away in a cabinet. I'd like to kind of keep it here so I can get right at it. So I do have my favorite games right here at arm's reach. I have some of my PDF games within arm's reach in my little folder here, my little file thingy that I have, so I can get at some of my games fairly quickly. There are some that I have put away, so to speak, and that's my other question. Does putting a game away mean that we don't like it as much anymore, and we might not play it? And I think when I put a game away, meaning that it's not here right to my left, that I can get right at it, because you can't keep everything out. It'd just be a complete mess, and I don't want that. I don't want that, And so I need to keep it fairly tidy, fairly neat, because
that's what you see behind me.
Yeah, I don't like to clutter myself. So behind me you see my Appa up here in a whole bit, but I mean it is on the shelf. It's off the ground. The tables aren't covered in crap.
Right.
So it is somewhat tidied up. Enough for me, I should say. But sometimes I'll get the itch and I'll go dig out a game, Hockey Blast, let's say. And I'll dig out Hockey Blast, and I'll put it on the table, and I'll pull out some seasons from where I have my seasons, and I'll play it. And then when I'm done a game or two, I do kind of go and put it back in the cabinet. And I've scratched that itch. Whatever it is. It's maybe it's like, you or Joe was saying, I played Hockey Blast, or someone else said, I played hockey, and now I want to play it too. So I go and I get that out of the way and I play it, and then it goes back in the cabinet. Doesn't mean that I don't ever want to play it again. It doesn't mean I'm done with it. It just means that I've had my fun with it, and now I want to play something else. So then I'll go in and I'll pull out even Appa Hockey is in the cabinet, if you can believe it. Appa Hockey's in the cabinet.
Yeah, but you don't want to mess them up either. You don't want them getting banged around.
Yeah, you don't want to be stacking things and having get it all yucky. So so I keep a handful of games right here because I want to get at my Red Sox payoff pitch that's a good, right after dinner game, if we're not doing anything, I'll come down and just play a game offline and just get that out of the way. So I don't want to keep digging that out, so to speak. The 49 highlight hockey, I don't want to keep digging that out. So there's things I don't want to dig out. I keep right there just so I can get at it, because those are my ongoing things. When I put something in the closet, it just means that I don't need to get at it right away. Mm-hmm. And I know where it is, and there's a lot of things in there that I can go and get. If I want to play, Stratomatic baseball, and I get the itch for that quite a bit, and that's where it is. So I'll go in there, and I know exactly. I just slide it out and bring it over here and play it, and then when I'm done, I put it back.
Right. It's not like you're done with it. You just know you're not going to play that for a little bit.
Yeah.
Or like we said, you want to put your stuff away. My stuff goes back on the shelf. Matchup college football is over here. It's to my left, and it's in a table where the TV is downstairs, because this is my domain, really. Where I sit in the basement is where my main gaming gets done. So I keep those things out there. It's a great college football season going on, in my opinion. So I'm loving that playing college football. So it's not going anywhere. But as far as my games being readily available, it's probably like you have right behind you. I see your opposites. They're readily available. There's no reason to have them by your feet or on a table or sitting over here on a coffee sit. No reason for that.
Yeah. Now,
it's just a big trouble, I think.
It's just kind of how it worked out that Apple's over here, because when we had the flood down here, I had to move a whole bunch of things around. And so now I have a lot of my other games like way at the other end of my basement over there. Just kind of how we set things back up when we fixed the floor and the whole bit. This section wasn't affected by the flood, so I just kind of left everything there. And it just, I don't know, that big cabinet just works. Again, at the bottom of my cabinet is a bunch of boxes, and I have my game-winning drive and my fast drive football there, and momentum football, and that's where my Stone Cold is over there, and shootout. And so I bought some blank boxes, and I put a bunch of games in boxes, so they're over there as well. And it's just kind of how it worked out. If I had a different setup, I would probably set up things differently than I have now. But yeah, I mean, sometimes you just gotta keep the space open. But if I was doing a project, let's just say I was doing a hockey blast or a strat baseball, or whatever else is in my closet over there, then I would keep it here on the table, saying, okay, no, I want to get back to it, because I know I'm going to be doing more with it. So why would I put it away and just have to keep digging it out? I'll keep it on the table. But you got to keep that. It's like I got a little cache of games here, but I got to make sure that it's the ones that I'm going to play. In fact, I might be putting the APA football, the box, back in the cabinet there to create some space, because I have played that in the last month or so, but it is a kind of a big red box to be taking up space on the table. So I might slide that back into the cabinet over there just to create some space. But I kind of feel like when I do that, it's harder to pull the game out, because it's just. It's not right there. It's out of sight, out of mind. Like I bought a bunch of apples last week at the grocery store, and I couldn't find them. I'm like, did we not put them in the bag? Where are they? And the week went by. He says, where are those apples? Oh, I put them in the fridge. Bottom shelf, where you can't see them when you open the fridge. It's like I didn't know where they went. So I didn't even have an apple, because I didn't know where they went. And I think by the time I got to them, they were all kind of gone. They were too old. But it's like, why would you hide them from me? I want them out in the open so I can remind me. That's how I am. I'm a visual person. I need to see these things to remind me what I got. And when I put things away, or somebody puts them away and I can't find them, then it's out of sight, out of mind.
I get it. I think every marriage goes through that, though, in every house.
Yeah.
Because behind me is kind of like what you have behind your right shoulder. Everything is open. As soon as I walk into this room, and I can see, do I want to play that? Do I want to play this? Do I want to get after that? And it's not a seasonal thing for me. It's never been that way. It's just, what sport am I into? And then which game do I want to play? Now down here are the games that have been in my rotation. So it's a little easier. Sometimes things just don't click inside this old head of mine, and it's like, what do I play? What do I play? But I know tomorrow I'm definitely going to go with 49 hockey. I think I'm going to try the quick decks.
I think that's a really good word, is rotation. is that, we get games that go into our rotation and we play them, and, it's like a cycle or a phase. It's like, you start playing this game of whatever it is, highlight hockey, or you start playing, solitaire pro football, or whatever it is, APA, whatever game you play, Strat. And you get into a rotation where it's just like, okay, I want to play a little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of this. And, yeah, these are the games that are kind of rotating right now on my table. Right. I got the Lazy Susan spinning around and just kind of grabbing whatever I need to play. And then every now and then something else finds its way onto that rotation, and maybe something comes out of the rotation. And so the rotation for me is always changing. That's just kind of how it is. My rotation is always changing. And so I like that word rotation, because I guess that's what I got right now over here. I got my highlight hockey, my season ticket baseball, my payoff pitch baseball, and Apple football. Those are in my rotation right now. Doesn't mean I can't go, I'm Presidents for 50, go off the board and take, have a Joker's Wild Day,
Right.
Joker, And,
or you go into that restaurant and they have 8 items on the dessert menu. I'm like, can't you just have like 3?
Yeah.
Because I want 7 of the 8.
Yeah,
exactly. Which one do I go for?
Yeah.
Especially me being a sugar addict. I'm like, it's the same thing with my games, because I'm a gaming addict.
But yeah, I do. I do like how we have the rotations and they do change. So I like that. That's true. The rotation. That's a good word for that. But let's get back to the question at hand. And that question was, how do we decide what to play? How do we decide? A lot of times, for myself, as I come down the stairs into the basement here where I set up, and I run smack into my closets over there in my Stratomatic cards. So that's the first thing I see is my Stratomatic cards and the 2 closets with a bunch of games and cards in them as well. And sometimes it's like, okay, I haven't pulled out Strat in a while. I need to pull out some Strat and play some Strat. And whether it's baseball or hockey, I got to do that. And then I'll come over here, and this is kind of the APA section. This is my APA hockey and APA baseball. My APA football's over there. I got a little APA football over here. But then then I have to walk by the payoff pitch, the bank shot basketball, and the all my play seasons for the different games I got. I have all them. The cards are smaller, so I can fit them into a little cabinet over here.
Oh yeah.
So I have, if you would look down here, I have all these little cabinets that are underneath the desk. So I have desks here, but I have these little cabinets that slide underneath, and I have all these things tucked into there, kind of neat, And then right before I sit down, behind me here, right next to the Canadians banner, if you're watching live, that's where my hockey bones are. So when I come walking in, I go straight into the hockey bones, and I take a left to come in and get into my office area here. So I kind of go by all these billboards, if you will.
Yeah. They're grabbing at you.
They're billboards.
Play me.
It's like, I got the Strat over here. I got some of my play stuff in the closet over there. Then I run into my bank shot and my payoff pitch, my hockey bones. And I sit down here, and I get all my rotation games. And then I sit on the computer, and then I have all my computer games here as well. So it's like no matter where I go, there it is. So trying to decide what to play. Sometimes I'll go online and I'll see someone playing a game, and I get that itch.
Right.
It's a monkey see, monkey do. You get excited. Yeah. I'll see, you or Joe playing something, or Marco, or, whoever else in the community posting results of a game. And it's like, oh, man, yeah, I think I'm going to play that tonight.
Right.
And pull that out. Or,
how about when you watch a specific sport? You watch it for a couple of nights in a row. I got to get it out. I got to pull out one of those games. Do you get like that?
No. And I will. Okay. Why I say that is because I'm a casual observer of the modern sports.
Okay.
I just kind of watch, like I say, I watched a little bit of football this weekend. I didn't watch a full game. I just kind of zip around. And, even with hockey, I never really watch a full game of hockey. It's just, I don't really watch a full...
Shame on you.
Yeah, see, I don't even watch a full movie anymore. I don't have that attention span anymore. I just get too distracted by other things, and I either want to play something... I'd rather play something than watch something, But sometimes if I'm just sitting there and I'm just flipping on my phone or whatever it is, or I'm making notes on the show, or sometimes I just have little things going on, I'll have the game on, but I'm not really watching it. So that's the one thing. So when something's on the TV, that doesn't get me in the mood, because I'm only kind of half watching.
Okay.
If I go on to YouTube, though, and I see a video on a certain team or a certain player or a certain playoff series, that gets me interested. You know, it's like, whatever happened to so-and-so? Oh, I see, you know. Well, there was a show one time on Jeremy Roenick and why he wasn't well liked with certain teams or players or coaches. I don't remember what it was, and I said, oh, it's right. He played for Arizona, and I think he played for the Sharks too at one point.
That I don't remember. I know the Blackhawks. I know Arizona. Trying to remember who else. There
was a few teams he played, and I was like, I got on a JR kick, and I was playing some Jeremy Roenick for a while there, and so that's what inspires me is when I see a Facebook clip, a YouTube clip, or something like that, or someone else is playing a game that looks interesting, and it's like, yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to go pull that out today and play that myself. So when it comes down to deciding when to play, there's got to be a little bit of inspiration that kind of nudges you in a certain direction. So a lot of that will nudge me in a certain direction. A lot of times, Ron and I will chat, and we'll be scrolling through, hockey reference or football reference or baseball reference, and we just like to do that. That's just what we do. We'll chat for an hour or so, and just we'll be looking at players, and then you'll stumble on someone like a goalie that played one game. It's like, oh man, how cool would it be to put him on the table and play that one game, or a team that had a complete upset over a superior team. Oh, that might be fun to play that, or someone had a 3 home run game. Let me play that game. So we would find the obscure game, the obscure team, and do that and play that. So that's where I get my inspiration. In fact, in the new Sports Sim magazine, Dan wrote a really good article, and he talked to me and a couple other people about playing the defunct teams, the defunct leagues.
Just finished reading that one.
Yeah. He talked to Scott Surgent, who he had on the show, who did the book about the WHA.
Makes me want to go buy it.
Yeah, I have the book, and I have one of the newer versions. I think he had a few different versions. It is huge. It's a phone book, but it's got tons of WHA information in it, more than you'd find anywhere else. And what's kind of neat about it is it does tell you who gets all the goals in the game, so you have an idea who played in the game. It tells you the goalies. So if you're trying to do, it doesn't get you an as played lineup, but you can have an idea of who's in there and at least who played net if you want to get the goalie for that. And so anything WHA stat related is in that. He did a terrific job with that. I think he even that was my inspiration actually. I pulled out that book, and it was in I don't know if it was 75 or 76. The WHA was scrimmaging NHL teams. Okay. And so I went in 49 hockey, and I took some of those WHA teams and printed them out, and I had them actually playing some of the NHL teams. I think they played the Flames and the Blues and the Penguins and stuff like that. And I printed out a whole bunch of those WHA teams because there is a WHA set with highlight hockey.
I was just going to ask you, don't we have that? We do have that. Yep. 77, 78 or something?
Now, they're different years, so I didn't get the exact year, but I think it was 75, 76 NHL that I used in 76, 77 WHA. So there was a little bit of almost an overlap there. So it was close enough for me. And so it was Scott's book that showed the matchups. So I printed out all the teams, at least the ones that I had available to me. And I started scrimmaging them. And it was just kind of fun. I think the Rangers were in there as well. And so, there was a handful of teams. And so that book kind of inspired me to play some of those teams there. So that was deciding what to play. It was, I had the teams and I had the seasons, or at least that was close enough for me. And I played some of those games, and it was kind of fun playing WHA versus NHL. So for me, I get inspiration in different places, whether it's, like I say, usually online somewhere. But again, sometimes somebody will play something and it's like, oh man, I haven't played that in a while. I need to dig that out.
Right.
That could be fun. And then you sometimes you just get the itch for something. Sometimes you're at work, you're out and about, or whatever you're doing. It's like, I haven't played this in a while. Something will just spark I just want to play this. I want to play a Tony Esposito game, or I want to play, a Bobby Orr game or a Cam Neely game or
anything with Bobby Orr. And I'm not even a Bruins fan, but anything with Bobby Orr.
Yes, and then you got me there all excited about the running quarterbacks with Allen there from Buffalo. I'm like, now I might want to try to play a season where I got some running quarterbacks instead of just the guys that throw the ball and whatever. But it's really kind of a different inspiration gets me in the mood for different things. But when it comes down to deciding what to play, usually I need some inspiration. Once in a while, I do get the puppy dog look from some of the games I haven't played in a while. You ever have that? You're like, boy, I haven't played this in 6 months to a year. It's like, give me some love, pet me, will you? And it's like, so you open up the closet or wherever it is. You're like, let's play one of those. And honestly, sometimes I pull out a game just to play it because I haven't played it in a while. And there's a little bit of, I don't know if it's not so much guilt, but it's just like, gee, I have this game. I did enjoy it. Let me play it. And I pull it out and I put it on the table and it just doesn't, I'm not ready for it.
Okay.
And I'll put it away. And that's happened a handful of times where it's like, okay, I haven't played this in a long time. I need to play this. Let me get it out and play it. And I pull it out and it's like, I'm really kind of forcing myself to play this game and I really don't feel like it.
That'll never work.
And so I did, and I put it away, and then I pull out something else. But that's happened a few times. And I wonder if anybody listening, if that's happened to you, where you're like, man, I have all these games and seasons. I should play this because I have it and I want to, at least say that I played it, and you set it up. You're like, nah, just not in the mood for it, and you put it back. And I've done that with a handful of games. And other times I pull out a game and I start playing. It's like, oh man, this is so good. You end up playing. I miss this game, and it's like, I'm gonna play like 4 or 5 games now that it's out on the table and it's all set up. I'm gonna run with this and have a good time with it. So I've had both experiences pulling games out. No matter what they are, even if it's the one here next to me in the rotation, sometimes I'm just not in the mood for one of those games, and I'll set it all up, and I'm like, nah, I don't feel like playing it.
There's not enough time in the day either. That's what stinks. We need 48-hour days, and I could play a lot more because, like the other game, I've been hovering around because I got back to playing after my surgery and everything. And History Maker Golf is one of my favorite games of all time.
I've been trying to pull that out myself because I'd have to relearn that because I haven't played that in a while.
Oh, I could walk you right through. It's such a fun, easy game. It really is.
I did enjoy that when I played it like a lot. In fact, that's probably my favorite play game.
Yeah,
and
it's definitely mine.
I just don't play it as much. Yeah. And I know you don't have to play the tournament, but the tournament mode,
that's the best.
Oh my gosh! I mean, that used to take me 4 to 5 hours to finish it, but it was so intense and so good, and you just felt like you were watching 4 days of golf. And then coming down the stretch on Sunday afternoon, and one group's going into the clubhouse, and one guy's hanging around, and you got the leaders and the last 2 groups, and they're kind of jockeying for position. It's so good, man. It's
I have every course. I believe every course set. I might not have one. I got to look, but I thought I finally clean that up. Have every course set and every set.
I have a ton. I have a ton of courses. I don't have many players. I only have a couple of. I think I got like a greatest hits, a fictional, and I don't know if I get 1980 or something like that.
That's great.
I should do that Black Fridays. Get some more golfers, and get that back on the channel. But that was fun. There was a couple things I had trouble with, like some of the chips. I got confused, like when to use a chip and how to use it, when you get one, when you lose one. And I know it's just playing it more. If I played it more, it would come a lot easier to me. But yeah, some of those things that kind of trip me up a little bit. But all in all, when I play that, it's very enjoyable.
It's so satisfying.
It's very fun.
I read James Cass's article in ST's magazine too, and I'm like, I did that months ago. I thought that was the best way to rush to a tournament. Like I wanted to replay, I forget what tournament it was. So I went back and looked at who the top 12 golfers were on Sunday morning going out. And I set it up like that. So that gave me, and I agree with what he said, that gave you some type of like realism to who's in it. Now, he went a bit further and gave the guys that played a bad round that day a red chip, the guys that played better a blue. I just play it out, but I thought what he did was really, that was definitely another way to go at it, but I don't mind doing that. Like, if I'm going to replay a tournament, I look up the top 12 guys, because that's kind of what's on the score sheet.
Yeah.
But the full tournaments, they are fun. Yeah, some guys might not make it to cut and all, but it's fun. And, if you do an all-time set, you got to know that sometimes certain guys, the greats, are not going to make it because they're all the greats.
Yeah.
But they're just good. The decade sets are great. When you get the greats of the decades, it's got a lot of good ones. But I couldn't wait for last season to come out just because of Scotty Scheffler. I love the guy. I hope he never plays in a Ryder Cup again because he's a terrible team player. But he's unbelievable. And you know what? That's another subject. They're just better as individual players. I don't know why, but whatever. The golf game itself, excellent. And there's a lot can be done. A lot can be done with it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's enjoyable. You don't have to play the whole tournament. Like I say, you can just kind of select 4 or 8 guys and play and have some fun with it. And,
oh, yeah.
But that's a good way to do it. Take the top 12 and just kind of play them out, and that can be kind of fun. Yeah, I need to pull that back out on the table. I really do.
Played them with match play, and it's phenomenal. I did quite a few tournaments with match play, and it's intense. It gets intense, and it's great. I still remember I had a Bobby Jones at a hole-in-one in one of the match play tournaments. Good stuff.
Nice. So, how do you decide what to play? I told you what I like to do. I come downstairs, and sometimes I run into one of my billboards, and I got to play, or I open a closet, and sometimes I do. I go over there, I open a closet up and say, what haven't I played in a while? Or I look behind me into some of the boxes and say, okay, aside from my normal rotation, what haven't I played in a while? And put that on the table. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So how about yourself? How do you decide what to play?
You're asking me. Well, as I was saying, I get different inspiration too, but it's not the season of the sport that's in. It's more of the game. What game am I missing more? What game do I really want to get on the table? And like I said, lately, the past couple of days, I feel like it's been 49 highlights hockey. It's going to lead me to want to try the quick decks, because I've been telling you and Joe how long now, right?
Yeah.
I want to try it. It's just what comes in my head. And then when it's too much in my head, like I said, I just explode. I don't play nothing because I want to play this. I want to play that. I want to do this. It's not enough time in the day. Do you
ever try to, on purpose, pull out a game you haven't played in a long time? I mean, just because you enjoyed it at one point, or any itch to play it, or do you kind of just stick with your rotation? And
no, it would be more of an itch. It's not a game that I haven't I haven't played this game in a while. Let me pull it out. I don't do that often, but most of the time when I do, I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
Because I do end up enjoying that game. It's like, man, you got to get that on the table more. But then where does it end? You got to get this one on the table more. You got to get that one on the table more. There's just not enough time in the day.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Because there's so many good games. Like I said, and everything down here, besides Solitaire Pro Football that's upstairs, everything down here are the games that have been in my rotation that I want to play. I just don't have enough time to play.
Yeah.
And some guys I know play everything according to the season. We know the majority of gamers are playing sports games or baseball games. Mm-hmm. I haven't played much baseball since my last Nolan Ryan game with that replay I'm doing. I'm 4 games in, So I was doing that with Payoff Pitch. I love season ticket too. So, where, what, how, It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's a good thing, but when I go throughout the whole day, like yesterday, I didn't play anything. Oh, I think I did. I sat down and played a little that game on Solitaire Pro Football in the morning while the girls were eating. And but today, I went out, hung out with a friend of mine. He's 88 years old. I love him. Knocked the ball around at his little retirement community. I came home and I was going to do this. I was going to do that. I said, I got to lay down. I'm an expert. If that was a game, I'd be playing it every day.
Yeah.
That's my wife says, you got the game on the table. You keep saying it's a good game. Don't you get inspired? Like, it's the only thing I get inspired is the room inside with all the pillows on it.
Taking a nap, I know.
That inspires
the nap game is my most played game. I have all the seasons.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
I'd love to know what people think.
Sometimes
going.
If people had followed the show and even my video game playing when I did the video games, I sometimes stumble on a game and I just can't quit it. And that happened with a couple of video games that I just couldn't stop playing for months.
They're addictive.
And it's happened to a handful of games here. When I first started playing shootout hockey, I couldn't play anything but that. I've run into that with APA hockey and APA football. I just couldn't stop playing it. Bang shot basketball, I hit that real hard and heavy, and I couldn't stop playing it. And that was on my table for weeks, and I had to physically pull myself away because, I need to play some other things here just to kind of keep things fresh on the show and on the channel because I'm just playing bang shot basketball. Yeah. And so I get into and highlight hockey was the same way. When I got that going, I probably played like 25 or 30 games of that in a row and nothing else. Seriously, nothing else. And then, that's why I think that's why I have my little cache over here off to my left, because I get into this groove where I just can't stop playing a game, and then I can say, okay, let's stop. Let me pull out the payoff pitch over here and play a game of my 76 Red Sox just to change it up, just for a change of pace. Right. Or maybe, pull out that season ticket baseball and play another game in that. Or pull out the Solitaire Pro and do that. And that way it gets me out of that. It's not a funk, because I guess it's the opposite of funk. It gets me out of that. I'm just so addicted to playing this one game over and over and over and over and over that I do need to kind of change it up sometimes. Right. Not that you have to, but sometimes it just, I'm getting pretty boring here just playing the same game over and over. I do need to change it up.
Yeah, it's not a knock on the game at all because you're playing it a lot.
Yeah, and you can't stop.
You want to shake things up. Like, I'm envious of guys like me and Jamie. We talked to Mike Silva. He's got, I forget how many teams he started with that big baseball bash. Oh, yeah. You got to look it up. But insane amount of teams. So that's really all he's been doing. Right. And playing that. And I'm envious of that because I used to be able to stick with my season replays. I can't do it no more. Maybe it's my concentration span is like reached the size of a gnat. I don't know.
Do you ever get, sometimes when it comes down to deciding what to play, sometimes, because each game's a little different. And once in a while, I will want to play a game for something that game does. That
100%.
Yeah. So, and I'm trying to come up with an example.
Highlights hockey to hockey bones, right?
Let's just say sometimes I want to play a game that has. I want to do an as-played game. So that's probably going to limit me to a handful of games that I have. If it's hockey, it's hockey bones, or even I'll highlight hockey now. But then I'd have to adjust, in Excel for highlight hockey. But between APA and hockey bones, if I want to play as played, it's hockey bones. Same with baseball. I'll just gravitate towards payoff pitch because they have everybody and I don't have to worry about it. Right. So if I get in the mood for a as played game, then I have my go-to games for that. If I want to play a game where I get tons of rebounds for hockey anyway, it's APA hockey because you can get practically unlimited rebounds, and that's half the excitement of APA hockey is getting all those rebounds. It's really kind of fun. If I want to get a game that's a long play football game that just I know it's going to take me all day, but I really enjoy that. APA football is the way to go because it's going to take me a lot to set up, but it's going to be a long game, and I don't care how long it takes because it's fun. But there's certain games that do certain things, certain mechanics that I look forward to playing. I like the ease of APA baseball basic mode. I like the ease of that. I like how I can just kind of set up a game and play it and just relax, and it's not going to hurt my brain. If it's late at night and my battery's at 10% in my head, I can still play a game of APA baseball and not have to worry about it. It's casual and it's fun.
We're so spoiled, aren't we?
Oh yeah, and so every now and then I do have an itch to play a game for a certain game mechanic. Sometimes I just want to play a drive-by-drive football game, and I got a handful of those I play, and some do different things than others, and that's why I'll reach for that particular game. It's like, I like how this game does this better than this, or different, I should say, not better but different, and that's what I'm in the mood for. I'm in the mood for that. Sometimes I'm in the mood for a quick play game. And it's like, I want to play a bunch of games, but I don't want to be playing 15, 20 minutes, half hour. I just want to kind of bang it out. And I pull out, I'll pull out, a quick, what's it called? Ultra quick football from Downey, or I'll play final score hockey from Downey. And I can just pull out some teams and roll, get some final scores real quick.
And with those games, you could play, hey, I want to play 3 different sports. Well, guess what? I could play 5 games at 3 different sports.
Yeah.
With those games.
Yeah. And you know what's a fun game, too, is Chris White has a basketball game. And I'm trying to think of the name. It must be just VSU basketball, I would imagine.
I've been curious. I see he sells these things for VSU.
I like the basketball game, because what the basketball game is in a nutshell, you have 2 teams, and it tells you how many dice you need to roll for each team, okay? And there's a couple of calculations you do, I think, that, the other team's defense gets involved or whatever. But let's just say you're playing Celtics and the Sixers, and you got to roll, 25 dice for the Celtics and 23 for the Sixers or something like that.
What?
Yeah, so you roll all these dice, and that's your final score. So if you like dice rolling, those are the games to play. But it's really kind of fun how that works out. And so I split it up into quarters. So if I got to roll 30 dice, let's say, or 30 rolls, I'll divide it up into 7, 7, 8, and 8, or whatever adds up to 30, and I play it by quarter. And so you see the game play out that way. Huh. It's something like that. It's probably not exactly like as I'm describing, or maybe it's 17 dice roll. And I forget what dice you roll to get the score, but it's super fun rolling a ton of dice, and it's just an easy game to play. And sometimes I want to roll a ton of dice, and that's the game I go to. Is I'll just play that one there. The baseline basketball and the regular season basketball, those are kind of fun too. You can just kind of roll dice and get your score, and just if you want to get stats, you can get stats. Otherwise, you just get the score of the game, and you play the basic mode of those. And so those are really kind of fun too. So sometimes I'm in the mood for that. Sometimes I'm in the mood for rolling dice.
Yeah, I always love rolling dice.
And those are my favorite dice rolling games.
The team card version of Bank Shot is to me, it's so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not having to worry about who's this, who's got the ball, who's this, who's that. Not keeping the stats and just keeping the score and rolling it. And it comes out really well. If I was to play a tournament, I thought maybe you go that route and I could definitely get it in. But it's such a fun game, the individual cards and all that. But I get different games just give you different things. So
yeah, and so that comes a lot into what I want to play too. It's like, well, what do I want to play? It's like, APA football, that's going to be a little too long to set up. Let me pull out, Solitaire Pro Football. It plays a lot faster. I'm
so glad you showed me that game.
It's a simple game, and it just works. But it's a simple game. It's an older game, and it doesn't have a lot of the bells and whistles, but it
plays like football.
It works, it works, and it plays like football. Yep, exactly right. What I've been trying to do, too, is, and we'll wrap this up in a minute, what I've been trying to do a lot of is change my way of thinking about how I play a game. And what I mean by that is, I've always been the type of guy that's been like, you need to play the full game. You got to play the entire playoffs. You got to play the whole season. Either that or you play the one-off and then just throw the score sheet away. And now on what I'm trying to do, and I think it was Joe Cards that was talking about playing, the double elimination or the King of the Hill. Mm-hmm. And so that way there, it's not just a one-off and you're done. You're playing a game that's part of something that's contributing to the overall project, if you will, or whatever it is that you're doing, and you will get a winner at some point, but you don't have to play a ton of games. You don't have to play like an entire Stanley Cup playoffs.
Right.
You don't have to do that, or you don't have to play an entire season. Because for me, it's always been, well, if I'm going to play a game, I might as well play the whole season. Well, I'm not going to play the whole season. I know I'm not going to. It's never going to happen. So that's why I do the one-offs. But it's like sometimes I want more than a one-night stand. I want to have a little bit of a relationship going on. So I've been trying to, come up with, like when I see people play, I'm just going to play these 10 teams. They're going to play 10 games, and that's it. And it's like, that's kind of weird. But it's like, if that's what gets the game on your table, and that's what gets the teams on your table, and you can play it, and it's not going to take you 25 years to do it.
Right.
So I've been really coming around to that way of thinking with the different ways of playing, so I can get teams on the table. I can have a winner without it taking me all this time. And I'm even thinking about shortening games. So like that baseball thing I was thinking about doing with the cards that Chris White sent me, the best set of 70s decades with the APA cards, as I was thinking about, maybe I don't need to do 9-inning games. Maybe I just make this completely a fictional thing and play 6 innings. And never change the pitcher. Just pick a starting pitcher. He goes all 6 innings, and that's it. And if it's a tie, it's a tie. And that way there I can play a lot more games.
Get all your teams involved.
I get all my teams involved. I play my favorite players. I don't have to play players I don't want to play, and it's not a lot of thinking involved. It's just kind of setting my lineups. Maybe I just do a generic lineup. I have one pitcher, so I don't ever have to worry about taking a pitcher up. Maybe I roll to see who the pitcher is. Maybe I just pick my favorite pitchers and just play.
Yeah.
And shorten the game up, maybe 6 innings. And I was thinking about doing the same with football, is playing a half. Or give each team 4 possessions or 5 possessions,
right?
Or 6 possessions, or whatever it is, and that makes a different game if you're playing possessions rather than times. And first of all, you don't have to worry about time if you're playing a possession game with football, right? So you could drive down, you either score or you punt, or you're intercepted, and that's your possession. And so you're not worried about time. You don't have to rush anything. Even with hockey, I'm thinking about maybe play in the XHL. I'm thinking about doing roller hockey. Well, that's 2 halves. I'm not going to play 3 periods. I'm going to play 2 halves.
Right.
And maybe I make them 15-minute halves instead of 20-minute halves, or whatever it is. And so that way I can play more games. Now, I'm not going to get correct stats because I'm shortening the game, but if my goal is to play and have fun, I'm really thinking about playing some games and shortening the length of the game so they're not full games.
Right. I've had to give up on replays and stuff because with baseball, which was always the game first, if guys couldn't reach 300 innings, possibly win 20 games, 25 games, it turned me off. It's like, I don't want half stats. Well, now reality has sunk in. And I don't have time to be doing full replays. If I got on the computer, sure, I could do that. Mm-hmm. I could replay any sport with the computer games I have. I don't want to do that on the computer. I want to use my brain. I want whatever's left of it. I want to roll dice. I want to keep the stats. So I've realistically said, what? Maybe I'll just do the playoffs or a single team replay. I've been wanting to do a full Gretzky replay of a season just to see if said game can match his numbers, assists and goals, to see what could come, close to it. So I had to minimize my scope of what I could do. And it's okay.
Yeah.
So the guys that are out there, who is it? When we did the last, Tony mentioned he likes to do a season or 2 with the one game. He doesn't have a lot of, I may be mixing posts, but he said he likes to.
Dwayne? Was it Dwayne?
Dwayne Moss? I don't know.
Dwayne plays, he takes the one, he doesn't have many seasons, and he just plays the heck out of them. So he gets his money's work. Holy cow, he'll get your money's work out of it, yeah. But
it's an easier decision for him, too, where we're sitting there, like I said, with 8 desserts on the menu.
Yeah, Which one do I go to? But, so I've been really kind of rethinking the games I'm playing, the teams I'm playing, how I'm playing them by the length of the product, even the length of the game. I'm thinking about shortening the games now at that point it's completely fictional because it's not going to be. I'm not going to get realistic scores if I start cutting the game down. But I mean, could I enjoy myself having a little fun with that decade set of APA baseball and playing 6-inning games and just those are my 9 players plus a DH and never changing anything? I think that'd be a lot less work, and I could just play it and have fun and just. If you have a good outing, you have a good outing. You have a bad outing, you have a bad outing. But you're going 6 and that's it. Yeah. And I think that might be kind of fun just to see how the teams do and
try it.
But again, like you said, it might really bug me if I'm playing shorter games or if I'm only playing a half of football or a couple of possessions that you don't get the full game experience. That's going to be lacking.
It's the stats that drives me nuts. If I don't get those full game stats, like it'll always be like, all right, so he played a half of a basketball game. He had 11 assists. Man, he might have had 20. It's just the way my brain works. But I know guys that do play full seasons with just half. They play a half of basketball.
Yeah. I would do that. I thought about that with bank shot basketball too. Is get that on the table and play like a quarter or two quarters. Play a half.
Yeah, one half.
You know, and because that game's a long time to play. It's super fun, but I would play a half. You know, put my 5 starters out there. Maybe make each team make 2 changes during the whatever, and just keep everything consistent. And that way, there I could get the teams on the table, and I could play them, and I could see the Charles Barkleys out there, and the guys that I have, the teams that I bought, and the players that I bought. I could see them in action without having to sit through an hour and a half or 2-hour game.
Right, and I remember somebody doing that. I think it was with Stratomatic, and they were saying that one half is almost more intense than a full game because you start off that half and you're down, say, 15 points from the get-go. To come back is so intense.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas if you're down 15 and you cut it to 7, you still have the whole second half.
Yeah.
So there's definitely
it's almost like when you're playing like the highlight hockey. I mean, you're everything is condensed. So you're playing a faster hockey game, so everything happens a lot faster, and it's a different game. It's going to be a very
game. So good.
It is, but it's a very different game than when you're playing a full play game. Mm-hmm. And so part of me is like wondering if I would have cut my football game into just a half or just certain possessions. There's things you're gonna miss. Like what I like doing is when my team's ahead, and it's the fourth quarter. I like grinding it out on the ground. I like, taking that extra tick off the clock because I'm going slow. I'm trying to milk the clock. I'm trying to grind it out. I'm doing more running than passing. And all that would be gone if I did a possession game. You would not be worried about the clock at all. You wouldn't have to go into a pass mode because you're fighting the clock. So it would be a different game. And I don't know if I would like that because you're conditioned to think full game, and that's kind of what you're thinking about. And, sometimes you need to hurry it up, and sometimes you don't. So if I were to change the rules of a game, either by shortening it or whatever I do, it would be different. And I just wonder, I wonder if I would even like that or not. But the idea being, if I tried some different things, again, if I tried and I don't like it, then I don't like it. But
exactly, that's what I was going to say. You got to try.
But it might be fun to try, just to say, hey, I played 10 games today, so I got all these teams on the table today, and I got to look at all these guys. And now my results are not as I would be if I played full games with this, that, and the other thing, and if I brought in this, that, or whatever. But it's a different kind of fun.
And if you shorten it, you're not wasting as much time anyway. If I want to use the word waste, I don't think any gaming that we're messing around or whatever we're doing is a waste of time. I don't. So yeah, it would be quick to see if you like it, I use play count in football. Every game I play.
Yep.
I don't use a clock. I use plays. And, shorten it to 20 plays a quarter. 20 plays a quarter. The game's going to be over quick.
Yeah.
But I'll bet there'll be excitement in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be intense. You ain't got much more time left on the clock.
Yeah. Yeah. So. There's different ways you could change up the game to do that. So I'm looking into that. I haven't actually tried it yet. Like I say, I want to get the bank shot basketball out and probably just do either do a half or Yeah, I think a quarter would be too short.
Half is great, but half is fast.
Yeah, half is, but it still would take a long time because that's a long game to play. A lot of cards to flip. But that game's so fun. I need to get back to that. So I thought about doing that. I even thought about pulling out the shootout hockey and trying to play with that again because you get some pretty quick results with that. But I am kicking around, and again, it's mostly the longer play games that I'm going to mess around with. Obviously, the quicker play games you don't need to, but it's the longer play games that I enjoy playing. But it's like, boy, if I could shorten them up a little bit and get more games in, more teams. I think I'm going to try that. I think Bankshot's been calling me because now I'm listening to an audio book on Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bill Walton, and John Wooden. Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's really, really interesting. And so what's calling me? Oh, maybe you should do a UCLA project.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how many UCLA teams are in Bankshot, the college sets. But that's the stuff that makes me think, play that.
What I enjoyed about Bankshot was is I did purposely get a couple of seasons that were before the three-point shot. It does make it a little easier because you don't have to stop and check to see if they're shooting a three. Mm-hmm. It's just a straight-up two every time, and it's a different game.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
kind of fun. But I do have a lot of 80s seasons, a couple of 90s, and I did buy that one, was it 2023 with the Celtics? So I do have a modern season that I should get on the table just to see all the three-point shots that happen in the modern season. I haven't played that yet.
It is fun. I know with the modern college teams, they're just launching and launching and launching.
Oh, it's a different.
It's wild.
I tried. Because I was playing Bankshot back in the spring, I tried to watch some of the NBA finals, and somebody said it was a three-point shooting contest, and I thought they were just kind of overreacting and exaggerating. No, they would drive to the net, and instead of laying it up, they would turn and fire it back out to somebody to take the shot. And I guess somehow, somebody did the logistics. And it made more sense to take every shot as a three-point shot than it would be to take the two-point shot.
Yep.
Just even if you missed so many of them, you still were going to be ahead of the game. And that's too bad because that really did kind of wreck the game.
Oh, I thought so. I remember the study, but I forget the numbers they came out. But so if you made a certain amount of twos and you missed a certain amount, but you missed a certain amount of threes, and you
still come. You're ahead by 5 or 6 points or whatever it was. Yeah. And it's too bad because it really kind of wrecks the game because I enjoyed a lot of the Kareem Abdul going in with the sky hook, and Robert Parrish muscling guys out for the dunk, and
I love 60s and 70s basketball.
Tiny Archibald with a spin around shot, and I did like the occasional 3-point shot too. When someone would try the occasional three, I thought it was a bigger deal when people hit the three back in the early 80s because it was new, it was a lot harder. People couldn't do it as well as they can today, and I thought it was pretty special when it happened. It was like, wow, that was kind of cool. And now it's just, okay, fine. You hit a shot from half court. Yay, 3 points. It's just, it's lost its fun.
Because even the old ABA, they introduced the 3-point shot. Right. But they didn't use it nowhere near.
No.
You know what I mean? It was just, they had some 3-point specialists like Bill Malchione and Louis Dampier and those guys, but if they didn't take half as many as the leaders do today. Yeah. But it was a different game. And the 70s basketball was, to me, was so good. Defense and offense. And you had guys like McGinnis and early days Will Chamberlain. And
I really liked the 80s when they brought in the 3-point. I thought that if you were down by 3, you could at least take that shot to try to get back into the game. I did like that. Now I think it's just completely overused. But that's the game. That's the game today, and that's the way it is. It's kind of like in hockey now, where they yank the goalie out with 7 minutes to play, and a team fires 3 empty nets in, and that's why Strat had to modify that empty net rule.
Yes,
because it was so crazy now with all the empty net goals that are happening. So the empty net goal to me used to be something really special because it was the most exciting play in hockey. The goalie's out, you're scrambling in the last minute, time's running out. If the other team gets the puck, they would just throw it down the ice, and you'd be watching that puck sail down toward that empty net, and it was your heart's beating, and just nowadays. As soon as they get the puck, anybody on the ice turns and snaps it, and they fire it into the empty net in midair.
But again, even as a strap player, like I run a retro league, we're up to 85, 86. We're not going to use that. I'm hoping, it's an option because we're not going to use that. We don't want to use that because we want to have the empty net goals as they came in that era.
Right.
Same thing with the CFL stuff. I won't play the newest CFL stuff.
Yeah, that's weird.
And thank God Grant offers a lot of seasons. I'll just keep playing,
Yep.
the era of the real CFL.
Yep.
The one they're trying to take away from their poor fans.
I think they're just trying to become the next NFL. And now with a shorter field, now you can play in NFL arenas almost.
I get it.
I think that'll be the next step. Is they're just gonna give it a year or two, maybe 5, and there's got to be some kind of a long-term plan to make it basically NFL North. But anyway,
even more so, I feel for them.
Yeah, it stinks. All right, so that is our discussion on deciding what to play. How do you guys decide what to play?
Yeah, let us know.
What influences you? Is it the game? Is it the season? Is it the players? I mean, do you have your rotation? Do you have your little cash on your table? And do you ever go do deep dives into some of the games that you haven't played in a long time? So we want to know all about that from you guys. Let's get to our stars of the week, shall we here? So in 283, and these are our Patreon supporters, and we want to thank you so much to all of them here. Our number 3 star this week, we have Allen, New Jersey. Alan,
good man.
Yes.
Alan M.
Alan, yes, thank you so much, Alan, for supporting the show. Our number 2 supporter, we talked about him earlier in this one, Clay Dresslock.
Clay, thank you.
Clay, thank you for supporting the show, and we need to get Clay on here.
I'm going to have to get Football Mogul.
Yeah, well, I'm going to get him on here because he said he was busy the other day, and and I got a couple of busy nights this week, but I will get him on, and we will talk about Football Mogul, and I'll have him run through a few things for me and see if we can figure it out together here. And the number 1 star, well, he wrote that really great article in Sports Simulation Magazine about the defunct leagues and the defunct teams and why we play them. Dan V.
Dan V, thank you. That was a good article.
Yep.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, I was actually flipping through that magazine, right? The Sports Sim magazine. I got the PDF version. And I was reading it on the iPad the other night, and I kind of go in order. And I like to read the questions that he puts up at the beginning, and then there's a couple of articles there. And sometimes there's articles that I'm just not interested in. It's just how it is. I don't read everything. It's just like I said, I'm not a big boxing guy, and and so there's certain articles that it's like, it just doesn't interest me, so I'll skip by. But
I personally like that one.
Yeah. I read a bunch of them, and then he goes, oh, have you read my article yet? I says, I haven't got through the whole magazine yet. And when I got home, and I finished one article, and as I scrolled up, that come up. So I actually read that today.
That's funny you said that, because that's the last one I read before I came down. Yeah, I was late. I read them on my phone because I have them in PDF. Yeah. And you know what? Talk about what inspires you. That inspired me to want to play with a little bit of Minnesota North Stars, a little Seals.
Yeah. Yeah.
A little Washington Capitals, who I've never played with, but the weaker team. So good stuff.
Yeah. It was a great article there that he did there. So he'll be our number 1 star this week. All right. So let's wrap things up here. So again, you've been listening to the Digital to Dice podcast. This has been episode 283, Deciding What to Play. Ways to get a hold of us, digitaltodice.com is the website. 978-751-DICE is the text line. digitaltodice@yahoo.com is the email. And over on Facebook, facebook.com/groups/digitaltodice. And if you'd like to be a supporter of the show, head over to Patreon, patreon.com/digitaltodice. All right, Vin, that wraps up this one.
Well, it's good talking to you as always.
Yeah. So
give you a shout tomorrow. I know this is your busy season, so.
I am actually going to try to play hockey tomorrow night.
Play?
I'm going to play. Yep, they rented the court, or I rented the court.
Good for you.
Yeah, and it's like there's no league. It's just a fun skate, and I can play as little or as much as I want tomorrow night. And I'm going to see if I can do it.
Go for it.
And let's see how I feel. And
that'll be good for your soul. That'll be good for you.
Yep, just want to take it easy. I've only played once in the last year, just because I've been dealing with work and the heat. I don't do well in. But yeah, I'm going to try to skate.
Take it easy.
I'm just going to try to skate, putz around out there with no pressure involved. And I can play 10 minutes, I can play an hour, I can play 2 hours, and then go home, whatever I want to do. So I'm going to try that tomorrow night. So
have fun with it.
You probably won't see me tomorrow night because I'll be doing that. And I'm around this weekend, so you probably will see me this weekend. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, everyone, and we'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye.
And God bless everyone.